While without grammar, very little can be conveyed. Without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. Wilkins, 1972. While grammar helps structure sentences and refine meaning, vocabulary provides the actual content needed to convey thoughts. Without grammar, messages may be unclear, but it is still somewhat understandable. However, without vocabulary, communication becomes impossible because there are no words to express ideas. So, good afternoon to each and all. I am Maureen Choi S. Amago, and this afternoon we will be tackling about chapter 5, developing specific types of materials in teaching vocabulary. Before we formally begin, please allow me to look at my copy of the PPT for reference. Okay, so learning vocabulary is essential because it is the foundation of communication. It allows us to express our thoughts, understand others, and take part in meaningful conversations. Without a strong vocabulary, other language skills like listening, reading, writing, and speaking can also be um, affected. So, as teachers, we won't allow that, right? As teachers, we want to give our students the best support in their language learning. Since vocabulary plays a big role in communication, we must help students build a wide range of words so they can express themselves clearly and confidently. Um, teaching so in this sense, teaching vocabulary is just as important as learning it. It's not just about memorizing words, but about understanding and using them in real situations. So, let's begin by asking, what is vocabulary? So, it refers to the words within a language or a specific set of words being acquired. So, when we say words within a language, it means that all the language that exists in that particular language. Like for example, in English, every English words you know are part of its vocabulary. When we say a specific set of words, it means that it is it refers to a targeted selection of words based on a certain context, field, or level of learning. For example, the medical field, words like MRI scan, surgery, prescription, operations are part of the medical vocabulary. While these words belong to the English language, they are also considered specialized medical terms used in a specific profession. So, vocabulary is originally used in the 1900s as a list of words with explanations meaning late explanations. Its meaning later expanded to represent a person's or a group's vocabulary. That's why vocabulary is now synonymous with lexes and lexicons. Lexes refers to all words in a language, while lexicon is a person's or group's vocabulary. So, scholars also define it as a collection of target language words by Noonan 2000s, and Richard and Smith defined it as a set of lexemes including single words, compound words, and idioms. So lexemes are base forms of words. It is their most basic dictionary version before any changes like tense or pluralization. They represent word families rather than just individual word forms. So it also includes word combinations and expressions and that carry meaning. For example, run is a lexeme while running, run, runs are its different forms. Similarly, vocabulary includes compound words like toothpaste, notebook, and idioms like break a leg or spell the T. And Jackson and Amvela defined it as a synonymous with lexes and lexicons. So again, as I mentioned, lexis refers to the complete set of words in a language. It's all the words in a language, including their meanings, how they're used, and how they're used. Okay, so on the other hand, a lexicon is a person's or a group's vocabulary, the words they know and actively use in conversations or in communications. So, vocabulary is essential for language learning as it enables expression and comprehension by connecting meaning and understanding. So, why? Because comprehension comes first. If you have a broad vocabulary, you can express yourself more more clearly, confidently, and effectively. The more words you know, the easier it is for you to convey ideas without struggling to find the right terms. Okay. It also enhances comprehension because understanding more words allows you to grasp spoken and written text more quickly and accurately. A strong vocabulary helps in following conversations, reading complex materials, and even picking up nuances in meaning. So, since vocabulary is essential for communication, it's not just about knowing words but also about um, learning them effectively. This means teaching vocabulary cannot be a random, a spur of the moment decision. It requires a structured approach to ensure effective learning and retention. So, what should we consider when choosing materials and resources for teaching vocabulary? So, educators have many insights on this, but to make it simpler, we can follow the 4Ds of vocabulary learning. So, yeah, vocabulary learning. It's a framework both that helps guide both teachers and learners through a systematic process of acquiring and mastering new words. So this is the 4Ds. This is how it goes. Okay. So first, you have to diagnose or assess your students' strengths and weaknesses so that you'll be able to identify what materials could meet their needs. This can be done through diagnostic tests, as the it suggests, and vocabulary quizzes or sentence construction activities. So once their proficiency level is identified, you can use strategies like reading exercises, word games, and writing tasks to enhance their vocabulary skills. Now, second, you have to determine or identify your students' learning preferences to enhance vocabulary acquisition. Some learn better through visual aids, others through listening, like me. I'm a auditory learner, and some through hands-on activities. Knowing their preferences helps in creating engaging and effective lessons. Then, you have to choose and decide the most effective instructional strategies, including differentiated activities and level appropriate reading materials. This ensures students get tailored instruction such as scaffolded exercises, group works, discussions, and digital tools to support their vocabulary growth. Now, finally, you have to develop or create teaching materials that address word form, meaning, and usage while considering available resources. This can include worksheets, flashcards, digital apps, and reading passages that match students' levels and needs. So, in summary, the 4Ds: diagnose, decide, and develop. So, diagnose, determine, decide, and develop provide a structured approach to teaching vocabulary. So, similarly, as Nation 2001, as cited in Tomlinson 2013, outlined key aspects and components of vocabulary teaching as well as activities that support vocabulary acquisition. So, here's a table that presents a structured approach to vocabulary learning. Okay, so in the form aspect, form focuses on pronunciation and word structure. So in spoken form, um, activities like pronouncing words and reading aloud help students improve their pronunciation and fluency. In the word parts component, exercises such as filling word part tables and building complex words teach students about prefixes, suffixes, and root words, making it easier to understand and form new words. So you also have the meaning. So meaning helps students understand word definitions and relationships. So in the concept and reference component, finding common meanings and choosing the right meaning allows students to differentiate between multiple definitions of a word. And then in the associations component, activities like finding substitutes or synonyms and classifying words help students build connections between words, improving accuracy in writing and speaking. Now, use emphasizes how words function in real communication. So it's more about practical usage. So in the collocates component, learning to classify items in a concordance and finding collocates helps students understand which words naturally go together. So on the constraints on use component, identifying constraints and classifying words under style headings teach students the appropriate use of words in different contexts, such as formal versus informal settings. Okay, so understanding vocabulary involves learning its form, its meaning, and use, and to effectively reinforce these aspects, teachers can incorporate engaging activities that help students grasp pronunciation, relationships, and contextual usage. Okay, so here are activities for teaching vocabularies. So, like for example, a word map activity. This one. So, this activity helps students develop a deeper understanding of word meanings by organizing information systematically. It focuses on three key questions. What is it? What is it like? And what are some examples? So these questions guide students in defining a word, describing its characteristics, and providing relevant examples. By breaking down a word in this way, students can see relationships between concepts and they can improve their retention and develop critical thinking. We can also have another one, a vocabulary charade. In this activity, words are written on cards and students take turns acting them out without speaking while their teammates guess the word within a time limit. So, points are awarded for correct answers, and the game continues until all players have participated. So, this strategy reinforces word meanings by connecting vocabulary with physical actions, making learning more engaging, more interactive, memorable, and also enjoyable. It also promotes teamwork, critical thinking, and quick recall of words because they are collaborating while they are actively thinking. So another activity we can have is word sorts. So in this activity, students categorize words into different groups based on shared characteristics such as meaning, word structure, or usage. So word sorts can be open where students create their own categories, or it could also be closed where they sort words into a teacher provided categories. This activity strengthens word recognition, enhances the understanding of word relationships, and support critical thinking. So actually, there's a lot of activities for teaching vocabularies, but I could only cover a few in this discussion. However, I will provide a list. Here's a list of those who want to explore more for their vocabulary lessons. Here are the words. Here are the activity titles. Okay, so well, that concludes my report. Thank you so much.